Hey, good morning. I haven't done a longer video for a while, but I wanted to touch on a couple things. First of all, is something I studied about 3 years ago when I was actually in that rehab. It's called mindset. Yesterday, two people in my life actually made me realize that I need to be thinking and thankful for what I have achieved, right? A lot of times I'll come on here and say, I don't have what I used to have, I don't drive the car I used to drive, I don't have the house I used to have, whatever. And while that's true, and that is a disappointment to me, I also need to remember what I have accomplished. I need to remember, I've just lost close to 60 pounds and look and feel great. I've started a part-time job that stressed the hell out of me, and I figured out how to do it comfortably and make a little bit of money on the side to make my life better. I need to remember that I'm making all these great friends at the gym, and I have like-minded friends now that actually, want to do things and stuff instead of just go sit at the bar and drink all Saturday and Sunday afternoon. So I need to change my mindset. When I was in this rehab several years ago, there's a guy who's an Army Ranger, and he said, you talk to yourself worse than anybody in this room. And this was a room full of crackheads and meth heads and fentanyl heads, right? And I knew what he meant, I knew what he meant. And what's funny is, the thing that brought me my successes in the past is that I was a positive thinker, I was thinking about what I could accomplish, and I was grateful for my abilities and what I could accomplish. So last night I thought about the mindset thing, and that's what they call it in like the self-improvement world, is mindset. There's a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, who's a researcher at somewhere, and she's friend with Andy Huberman, who has that podcast that talks about all things healthy. But anyways, I watched a couple of his podcasts on mindset last night, kind of how to catch yourself. And the key for me is to catch myself having a negative thought and then changing it, right? It's not to have the mindset, it's not to have the negative thought, it's to catch it before you do it and change it before you do it. So that's one thing I'll be listening to, and it'll be a huge focus today for me, and it'll make life better, So thank you to the two people out there that brought that up to me in the last 24 hours. I really appreciate it. The other thing I wanted to say is, I've asked for prayer on here before, like when I was really struggling with drinking or things like that. It's been quite a while. But right now, like my 4 or 5 closest, or some of my closest friends, all have major things in their life they're going through. One's going through a horrible breakup. One is waiting for a contract for their business that'll change their life. And they've been struggling for a while, and it'll literally change their life and make their life 100 times easier. One is trying to change jobs and do a more lucrative job, and it'll make their life easier. And then I have another one who had a significant physical event in the last 5 years that happened to their body that has changed their life, and they're trying to adapt to how to live now. Their quality of life is not what it once was, and that's hard on somebody. I know that's hard on somebody. I mean, look at what's happened to me. It's horrible. It's like she's the same way. You wouldn't wish it on anybody, just because it's so difficult to know what you're capable of, and then just not to be able to be there because of physical and mental reasons. So if you guys could pray for my friends, I would really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a good week. I'm going to try and be more active on this thing and think of some actual subjects. I've had so many stories and been through a lot. I should be doing a little bit better job. So, but last week was a struggle. So this week, hopefully it'll be better, and I'll have some fun things to talk about. All right, bye.